Mike, you've announced the 22-player England under-20 men's squad that's going to compete at the World Championship in Korea in August. How does it feel to finally have it out there in the open?
Slight relief. It's been really hard kind of getting to this point with the group, because we've worked with these guys, some of them for 2 or 3 years now. So in a lot of ways it's great to kind of see a lot of that hard work and come to fruition. But equally, it's been tough in terms of some of the decisions we've had to make. But yeah, we're really happy with the group that we've got for the summer, and ready to make the most of the competition opportunity this summer in Korea.
And there is a strong core of players who also played at last year's Euros in Poland. Was that an important aspect of the squad for you, to have that continuity going through the team from last year?
Yeah, I mean, we looked at last year as a stepping stone, like it is for all these boys on a long-term kind of development plan. So for some of them, it's that next step on their journey. And yeah, I think naturally with some of their age profiles, they will have had both chances, both last summer in the Europeans and this summer at the Worlds. But we're also really happy to have some fresh faces coming into the fold, which I think we always knew was going to be the case. So yeah, I think us having a group of players that have been to competition before is a really big value for us, because they kind of know what to expect a little bit when they get there. Although that said, a Worlds is very, very different to European Championships.
And you mentioned there's some new lads in the squad who haven't played for England at a major tournament, maybe haven't played for England for that long. How good will it be for those players to experience playing some of the best young players in the world, and having that major tournament experience at such a young age?
Yeah, it's that major tournament experience. For a lot of them, they'll have had probably some involvement at the home internationals as well, so they've had a little bit of a taste of what it is like maybe over a couple of days. But to be able to do that over 2.5-3 week period as a young athlete really sets them up for what comes next in their lacrosse careers. We're really excited to see what both our existing players that have had tournament experience and the guys that are coming in for their first full tournament experience are going to benefit from that. So yeah, it's that balancing act really for us right now, with making sure that they take on the information that we've had in training. You can't replicate that in tournament, so actually the tournament itself forms a great opportunity for them just to bank experience and make sure that they learn from it more so than anything. And for us, that learn to perform mantra really then kicks in, so that they can actually understand what performance is like at a world level. And as you say, major tournament, you can't replicate it other than being there.
And all of the players plus the reserves have been taken from the wider under-20 men's programme, which is a programme. It's not just geared towards tournaments every couple of years, although they are touch points. We sort of go into a little bit more about the purpose of the programme as a whole, sort of creating sort of well-rounded athletes and people, rather than kind of those going towards those tournaments every 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a step change from what might have come previously. We're super excited that we've got players in our under-20 group right now who are actually eligible for the next under-20s in 2029. And so for them to be in the environment for such a long period of time, that longevity of touch points and contact and opportunities really means that our job is to provide a quantity of quality players that have performance experience, tournament experience, understand what it's like to be a young athlete, so that it's not necessarily about making a tournament or a team for a tournament. It's about that being as you said, a step on the journey. So the focus for us has really shifted. I've said to the boys this many a time. I think for some people it's a reframing of it in a lot of ways, but we're excited because it gives us a long-term objective as well as a short-term objective with all the players that we work with.
And there's that sort of level of continuity between the under-20 programme and also the senior programme. You're always speaking with the coaches there and with the wider England Lacrosse kind of coaching team. is that a good way to kind of thread that kind of continuity all the way through the England squads?
Absolutely. It's that, you say, use the word continuity for us as well as, being able to replicate things that then they do with the seniors. So we've had a couple of guys who were with us last year for the Euros who've effectively graduated up to the senior squad, and for them it's maybe they're not things get changed, things do change as they would between squads, but it's not everything's new and everything's different. There's some continuity in the way things happen and what happens behind the scenes in training, right the way through to practical things, technical things, tactical things. There's some continuity. So myself and Sam speak regularly in regards to what that looks like and shaping and forming that, and that also then goes through to the Aspire program as well, so that those connecting points between different squads are more like bridges rather than a leap of faith. And yeah, as I said, it's that long-term perspective of having a lacrosse career with England. And I think one of the things we've said a few times this year already is career or a career. And it's not necessarily about going to the tournament this summer in South Korea. It's actually that steps along the journey to have a lacrosse career, because we know all the exciting opportunities that exist within the game at the moment for things like Olympic inclusion. It just makes that long-term player pathway actually tangible, and the players see it firsthand and experience it firsthand.
And finally, just between now and August, when the World Championship happens in Korea, what is the plan for first the squad and then that wider pool of players?
Sure. So the wider pool is still training with us for the kind of the first part of our summer training. So there's no major changes for us in that respect. As we then get a little bit closer to the tournament, we're going to kind of give those guys a bit of an off season. But the boys that are off to the Worlds this summer, they'll continue training, and then we come back together as a collective come September. So the opportunity for them is actually they've got things that they continue to work on whilst they've still not got a championship this summer. I say a lot of them are maybe a slightly younger profile. So that for us means that we can continue to learn lessons that we will inevitably learn in career and apply them with those guys straight away. We're not mothballing the programme, for 2 years and focusing on the next tournament in 2028. We continue things, and we'll look at other competition opportunities as well, to help those boys get that experience, so that when their time comes down the line, they're absolutely ready for it. And again, it's that just rising expectations and giving them appropriate opportunities on their individual journeys as well.